Focus isn't hard. It's a matter of knowing what to let go of. You trying to fix people and change people and make people do what you think they ought to do? You trying to be God in people's life. No wonder you exhausted. You everybody's God. Stop. You didn't break them and you can't fix them. It's hard for me to learn that too. I'm a fixer. I love to fix stuff. But some folks don't want to be fixed. They like being broke. They choose to be broke. And you love them, but you can't fix them. I'm not talking about people down the street. I'm talking about people you love in your own house that you can't fix, that keep you up at night and make you want to throw up because you're so scared for them. They'll figure it out. You figured it out. You was a fool too, and you figured it out. And if your crazy self figured it out, give God an opportunity to work with them without you getting in the way. Focus.
Here's the fact. All of you have extraordinary capabilities. All of you. Quit running away from the gift. Your gift will make room for you. Stop trying to be something you ain't gifted at. All of you have this gift. Identify it. It's the thing that you do the absolute best with the least amount of effort. That's what you should be doing. You're wasting your time pursuing your passion. The Bible does not mention passion. It mentions your gift. What are you gifted at, and do that? Stop tripping. You can do that.
You have to jump. There is no way around it. You have to jump. You got to take a leap of faith. You got to dash off that cliff, and you got to jump out there as far as you can.
Life is really 10% what happens to you and 90% what you do about it. Don't give up when reaching your dream is difficult. Listen, if success were easy, you've heard it a million times. Everybody would be successful. It requires a grit and a toughness to be successful.
When are we done? When we stop developing ourselves, expanding our minds, challenging ourselves, raising the bar on ourselves. One great American said, I choose not to be a common man. It's my right to be uncommon if I can. I seek opportunity, not security. I do not wish to be a kept citizen, humbled and dulled by having the state look after me. I want to take the calculated risk, to dream and to build, to fail and to succeed. I refuse to live from hand to mouth. I prefer the challenges of life to the guaranteed existence, the thrill of fulfillment to the still calm of utopia. I will never cower before any master, nor bend to any threat. It's my heritage to stand erect, proud and unafraid, to face the world boldly and say, this I have done. That's what it means to be a part of peak potentials. Your unquenching desire, an uncommon desire to manifest your greatness.
There is another level. The only reason you keep saying there isn't is you feel so exhausted about where you are. But life, the universe of God, is just testing you because there is another level. If this is good, giant jump to excellence, giant jump, poor to good to excellence. There's a level where all your dreams are realized. There's a level that you've always dreamed about. It is real. It has not gone away. But it takes that extra burst when you think there's nothing left. There's no way. You've tried everything 10 million times, and you keep going. It's almost like God is saying, if you keep hitting this wall enough times, I will see that you will not stop, that you are filled with that level of determination, faith, and courage, and then the door opens, and you get to that next level. But what most people don't know is the next level is just 2 millimeters above. And it's called outstanding, ladies and gentlemen, outstanding.
Only those that can see the invisible can do the impossible. You have to be able to see what doesn't exist in order to be able to pull off or achieve what in most people's minds seems to be impossible. Only those that can see the invisible can do what seems to be impossible.
You know, one of the things that human beings underestimate dramatically is their capacity to get great at something if they're totally immersed in it, totally laser focused on something. You are way more powerful than you know you are if you went crazy, psycho, obsessed, laser focused on anything, even something you're totally ill prepared for. Humans have an unreal capacity to get great at things even if they don't have a natural talent for it, if they're immersed in it, and to learn something and acquire a ton of knowledge in a short period of time as well. Because the truth of the matter is, in society today, society is conspiring all the time in our culture to completely distract you so you never win. To just divert your focus and attention. Look over here. Look at this shiny thing. Look at this TV show. Look at this sports team. Worry about what's going on here in this war. And they get these different things on television and our phones and in our lives to just get us distracted so we never get obsessed. We never get laser focused for an extended period of time. Ask yourself truthfully, your big goals and dreams, are you really clear on what they are? You know how mandatory it is to be clear and specific for what you want, right? But then the next layer is this. Can you get laser obsessively focused almost to its exclusivity, almost, but for an extended period of time? Can you honestly say you've done that for an extended period? I'm talking about a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, even a decade towards something you want so badly. You want it like oxygen. It's like you want it like you want to eat. You want it like you want to live, right? Well, are you extendedly laser focused on it, or do you get distracted easily? Our obsessions become our possessions, but we won't possess them if we're not truly obsessed. I bet there's been a person in your life you've been obsessed with. If you're over 20 years old, listen to this, more than likely you've had somebody you were pretty obsessed with, haven't you? That you wanted in your life, you wanted to date, you wanted as a girlfriend or a boyfriend or a significant other. How many times a day did you think about them? How many times a day did they distract you from what you were doing with just the thought of them? In other words, this is what I want you to understand. When you're laser obsessed focused, your obsession distracts you from what you're currently doing, not the other way around. You're not really obsessed with it if you're easily distracted from it. This is so important. You right now can test whether it's your obsession with whether it distracts you constantly. The first thing you think of when you wake up, last thing before you go to bed. When you have a big laugh, it comes up. When you cry, it comes up. When you're watching TV, it comes up. When you're doing your regular job, but it's your side hustle, it comes up. You can't stop thinking about it. It distracts you from the rest of your life. That's what an obsession does. When it's not really your obsession, the rest of your life distracts you from it. And so the it in your life is so important. But there's all these things that distract us today. I'm going to give you a recommendation. Turn your damn TV off. Turn the radio off most of the time. Turn your phone off a lot too. So here's the deal. The TV's competing constantly to distract you with stuff that really doesn't matter. And I'm not saying, by the way, don't be informed, don't know what's going on in the world, because that makes you more interesting, right? You should know what's going on in the world. But let's be real. Does it really matter what's going on with the Kardashians right now? What happens in their life doesn't dramatically impact mine, but how many people are more obsessed with the Kardashians? Don't be so obsessed with them. Be obsessed with your own reality TV program called Your Own Life. How about the news? All the time they're trying to distract us. Before it was Obama, now it's Trump. Trump's going crazy today. Obama was nuts about this. Healthcare, Iraq, Iran, North Korea, right? Like all these things. And most of these things don't impact our own lives. I'm not saying don't know about them, but it's such a convenient escape from the work. It's such a convenient escape from our obsessions.
You talk about people dying from disease. Look, people die from negativity every day. You have been negative. You know why? Because the number one dominating force on planet Earth is the media. The media, 800 TV channels spew negativity onto the American public and every other country on planet Earth. They just puke it on you. Oh, but I watch Fox. Good. They puke at Fox and they do at MSNBC. It's just you're in agreement with the puke. I got some conservative puke. I got some liberal puke. And you got Stossel in the middle. He's like, okay, I'm just a independent puker. Dude, puke is puke.
The left against the right, Republicans against Democrats. Who's going to be the next president? Who's going to get the Democratic nomination? Can they beat Trump, right? Who cares? Who cares right now? You got to win in your own life. It's like, when I say this, people say, well, that's not, a very professional, evolved opinion. I'm just telling you what it takes to win. What it takes to win is not worrying about all that stuff. That should be the background noise. But talking about it, thinking about it, watching TV about it. Who cares what's going on in the real whatevers of anywhere? Who cares what the Kardashians are doing? Who cares who's running for office right now? You say, well, wait a minute. Aren't you socially conscious? Here's all I know. I've been alive through many different presidents, Republican and Democrat. None of them changed my life. None of them did. And none of them are going to change your life if we're being real. I think grassroots movements of good people and communities change the world. I don't think politicians change the world. If you think about it, the majority of people obsessed with politics have, I'm just meaning this nicely, they don't have much going on in their own life. So it's a convenient distraction to be mad at a politician because you're losing. It's a convenient distraction to get caught up in some issue outside of yourself, so you have to focus on your own life. If you can spend enough time obsessing about what these politicians or reality stars do, no one will look at you. But eventually in your life, you're faced with you. Eventually in your life, it's you. Eventually it's your life. Eventually they won't be on TV. Eventually it'll all be gone. Remember how obsessed you were with President Obama, whether you loved him or hated him? He's gone now. So getting obsessed with these things doesn't matter. Men, so many of you obsessed with sports. You're fans of these teams. Did it really change your life when the Patriots won the Super Bowl? Like, if you're a Patriot fan, on Saturday they hadn't yet won. On Sunday night they won. How different was your life? Tom Brady's life was different. Yours wasn't. You Laker fans or basketball fans, does it really matter? Like, if your team wins, does it really matter? I got news for you guys. You don't.
Everything worthwhile is uphill. Life is difficult. It really is. What makes life difficult for a lot of people is they don't think life should be difficult. And so therefore, they're looking for a quick way, a quick answer, an easy way. There are none. And to go uphill, you have to be intentional. No one ever wrote a book on accidental achievements.
Sooner or later, you got to bet on you. You believe in everybody else. You clap for everybody else. You support everybody else. You baking cakes and making cookies for everybody else. But when are you going to look in the mirror and believe in the darn person you see? It's about time for you to believe in you.
Stop complaining about the results you didn't get from the work you didn't put in. The only way to become more successful than most people is to be willing to do something most people aren't willing to do.
If there's something inside of you that you don't like, a behavior, an emotion, a thought, it's not you. There's nothing wrong with you. It's a pattern. And we can develop patterns and do them so often that we think we're our patterns. It's just a habit of thinking, habit of motion.
And the majority of the fears that we have are not life or death fears. They're not those kind of fears. But through our imagination, we blow them out of proportion and we give them more power than they actually have or deserve. And we permit them to govern our lives. We permit them to determine how far we can stretch out on our dreams and discovering our stuff.
You can overcome anything except your own death. Anything else will pass. And when you're in the middle of it, it sometimes seems like it won't pass, like your life is over. You can only see according to your perception of things. So unless you make a change inside, new opportunities will never come to you. So when you make a mistake, you have to have faith that there's always a way out.
You're going to work as hard as humanly possible. Blood, sweat, and tears. And nothing's going to happen. And the hardest part is knowing that you're going to have to show up tomorrow and do it all over again. But that is the process. That pursuit of maybe today will be the day. Showing up, not knowing when the final destination is going to arrive. Showing up regardless. is what makes a champion.
It's not how you achieve your dreams, it's how you lead your life and the direction and the routine that you set and how focused you are on the little things. That's how you achieve everything. You don't focus on the big goal at the end and have all this hope and desire. Like, all that's good. Everybody has that. But it's the ones that strategically put it in place every single day that really figure that out.
You have to dance beautifully in the box that you are comfortable dancing in. Your box is different than mine. Everybody has their own. It's your job to try to perfect it and make it as beautiful of a canvas as you can make it. And if you have done that, then you have lived a successful life. You have lived with Mamba mentality.
Look into the past and realize how much progress you've made, how much better you are today than you were before, and let that progress fuel you to continue working towards becoming the next version of yourself. Brother, it's the journey of life. The journey, the process is the prize. Mm-hmm. The prize isn't the destination. It's the process. It's who you become.
No one is ever inspired by a movie where the hero didn't have to overcome some great challenge after being brought to their knees, only to come back and claim the title. What makes you think that your life should be any different? That's the excitement of life. Facing challenge and overcoming it. And in the process, discovering that there's so much more to you than you once believed.
Life will test you. It's great to have a dream. It's great to have a goal. It's great to have a vision. But in your journey, on your way to the top, life will test you. Life really wants to weed out the people who don't truly want it, who aren't really willing to go through anything. You may say you're willing to go through anything, but life will make sure that you're willing to go through anything.
Understand that you're just in a season and that you're going to go through many more. And if it's bad now, it'll be worse later on your way to greener pastures, man. And so if you just understand that it's only for a period of time, and then if you keep punching long enough that you'll come out on top, I don't think there's anything in the world that any individual can't do if they simply stick to the same fight, know that they're in a season, and relentlessly refuse to do anything other than succeed. And I genuinely believe that.
If you're going to try, go all the way. Otherwise, don't even start. If you're going to try, go all the way. Go all the way. Isolation is the gift. All the others are a test of your endurance, or how much you really want to do it.
Most people know what they need to do, but very few actually do it. We spend a lot of time trying to figure out how to get better and way less time actually doing the work. It all comes down to how much you want it. Most people know what they want, but very few people want it bad enough to actually do something about it. So on the days where you don't feel like showing up, are you the kind of person to push past and keep going? Or are you the one looking for an excuse to take a break?
And the last thing I think about is like, why not? Like, why not you? Like, why can't you achieve all the things that are in your heart and your mind? Why can't you, break that generational curse? Why can't you get up and start taking those steps? You know what I mean? Why? Like, what's stopping me? And when you really get to the root of what's stopping you, the only thing that is truly stopping you is you, and you have the power to take that stand and to put one foot in front of the other, take it day by day, step by step, and become the person that God made you to be.
You're not what your parents tell you are. You're not what your friends tell you are. In fact, you're not even what you tell yourself you are, because you don't even truly understand your limitless potential. So when you live in a situation where you're limited by the opinions and the insecurities and the projections of other people, what you're doing is you're limiting your potential and your growth for self-development. And the first part is understanding that you can become whoever you want to become.
a mystery to yourself. You don't know who you are. You have patterns of behavior and you're not even understanding that. You don't know why you're angry. You think you're angry because that person said something mean to you or did something wrong. But in fact, your anger probably stems from things from deep, deep within from your childhood. And you're not reacting to that person, but to actually your parents and what they didn't give you. The origin of wisdom, according to the Greeks, was know thyself. And I believe that very firmly, that knowledge about who you are is an end in itself and will help you in so many ways become that human being that I think we all have the potential to become.
Just all the things that you aren't willing to give up for the dreams that you have. And that is what the person who will beat you is willing to give up.
You might slip and fall in the process of trying to achieve your goals, but you need to remember that it's all part of the journey.
You see, many people say they want to be great, but they're not willing to pay the price of greatness. Are you willing to do what most people are not willing to do? Are you willing to put in the work even on holidays? Are you willing to work to perfect your craft even on weekends? Are you willing to study and get better and grow even on the nights you're invited to those parties? Are you willing to pay the price of greatness? Are you willing to pay that entry fee, the cost at the door of what it takes to be great? You don't just stumble upon greatness. You pay the price day by day, moment by moment.
Winning didn't know my name. Winning doesn't know who the hell you are. You know, winning keeps its hands in its pocket. It's going to keep its hands in its pockets. You know why? Because it doesn't want to point to anybody who isn't worthy. In order to see winning in all its glory, it wants to see you suffer. It wants to know what you're made of.
You stay in environments where people don't recognize the value of you, you will shrink your gift to the size of what they can stand. And that's what causes anxiety and depression and stress, because you have had to shrink into a form where people can tolerate you.
I don't wait for the perfect moment. Usually the perfect moment is now. The right time to tell somebody that you love them when you feel it is right now. The right time to make that contact, right now. So I want to challenge you today. That call you need to make it now. That email you need to send it now. That chapter you need to write, that copy, that funnel, do it now. I love knocking things off the list because that creates momentum. And the more you do this, ironically, you will develop confidence in yourself to be able to attack things in the moment.
Not just about you. It's not just about whatever you're going to get. It's about the example that you're setting for every single person around you. It's the example in your household. It's the example in your neighborhood. It's the example in your community. And if we all took that seriously, the world wouldn't look the way that it looks. You have an obligation to extract the potential that is within you. You are given gifts. You are given a purpose. You may not know what they are yet, but it is your duty to figure out what they are. It is your duty to become the best possible version of yourself.
And you figure out who you are and what you want to do, and you devote your life to it like a maniac, like you're all in on this thing, and you manifest. Most of these people end up doing what they say they're going to do and being who they say they're going to become. It's real.
Okay, each and every day I'm just going to try to progress little by little. I'm going to try to take small steps each and every day. Understanding that every day is not going to be perfect. I'm going to make mistakes. I'm going to have days where I mess up, but that's okay because we're focused on the progress. We're not focused on trying to be perfect. And when you focus on the progress, that means even through mistakes, you're looking for the lessons and the ways that you can grow and progress through the mistakes.
The important thing is that you just keep climbing. Even when you do slide back, you're never at the bottom, because you're always higher up than when you started.
We're all participating in this thing called life. All of us. Life has ebb and flows. Mountaintops, it's got valleys, it's got thunderstorms in it, earthquakes. this life. Stop expecting it to go smooth, because it ain't finna go smooth. The road to success is always under construction. This life ain't set up to be smooth.
I get it. You don't feel like it. You don't know if it's worth it. And you know that if you do it today, you still have to do it tomorrow. And you still have to do it every day after that. It's overwhelming, I know. But every day that you do it, you get a little bit closer to the place that you actually want to be. You get closer to the person you actually want to be.
The fact that it is painful is the reason that it's working. Everybody else that has to try and step out into this new life faces this same thing too. Every single person does. That's why most people don't do it. This is what hard feels like, and this is why most people don't win. So continuing to push through and almost seeing that level of discomfort as a signal, it's like a way marker that's been planted in the ground. Because if it was all just super easy, well, how are you going to get anything different to what everybody else has got if you do the same thing that everybody else does?
Do you know what it takes to be a champion? Working hard every single day without the promise that your hard work will actually pay off, with the only guarantee being sweat and exhaustion. Here's something more. That goal you're chasing after doesn't favor you over anyone else. That's why you need to pay attention to the process rather than the product. Who is this champion that's being built?
That it's possible. If you tell yourself enough times that it's possible, it can be possible. But imagine every single day, instead of saying, oh, my day sucks, instead of getting up and being like, oh, life is terrible. Imagine your entire mindset was just like, it's possible to get to that next level. It's possible to be great. It's possible to be more healthy. In your entire perspective on life, your worldview is positive. Even if you had to lie yourself into believing that.
You can be fearful. You can't be afraid. The coward and the hero feel the same exact emotion when confronted with a situation. It's just, how do you act in response to the fear? The coward is like, fuck this, run. The hero is like, okay, I see you. I know you're there. Here's how I'm going to handle this.
You know, the fact that life is short and can be brutal, can terrify you into hiding and avoiding. But it can also, you can flip that on its head and understand that since you're all in anyways, you might as well take the risks that are adventurous.
When you were born, you are a phenomenon. You are unique. Your DNA has never occurred in the history of the universe, going back billions of years. It will never occur in the future. Your life experience with your parents and everything that you experience in your early years going on up is unique. It's yours. You're one of a kind, right? So that is your source of power. To waste that is just the worst thing you can do in your life. And what the power is finding that uniqueness. What makes you you? And how you can mine that, and how you can go deep into it and use that.
So many people die with untapped potential because they think that someone else is better than them. And they were born, not with the greatest tools. You don't need shit. You need the ability to grind your ass into a fine powder. And when you're in that fine powder, find a way to build that motherfucker back up repeatedly. That's possible.
If you hide and you don't let what's inside of you out, and you don't bring into the world what you could bring, and you become cynical and bitter, you will start doing very dark things. Not only will you not add to the world what you could add, but you'll start being jealous of people who are competent and doing well and work to destroy them. That's the pathway to hell.
Success is the ability to go from failure to failure to failure without a loss of enthusiasm. But that's going to be up to you, because there's not going to be anybody there to encourage you, to coach you, to push you on. You have to do it yourself.
People don't burn out because of what they do. People burn out because life makes them forget why they do it. Like the passion that they first had when they said, man,
I'm with you. I'm going to give you everything I got, whether that be sports, whether that be business, whether that be a family. I just want people to never allow life to make them forget why they do what they do. Right? To never allow life to rob you of your passion. To never allow life to rob you of your joy, your peace, your happiness.
I say chase your dreams, man. Do that thing, man, that keeps you up at night. That thing that bothers you, man, that makes you trip. You can't quit thinking about it. You always, that thing, man, that you wake up in the middle of the night, you got a new idea. That's what you got to chase.
Who is this champion with nothing more than a burning desire in their heart to prove to no one other than themselves, I have what it takes? And if you're sitting there wondering, am I that champion? Let me put it this way. You decided to listen to motivational audios rather than music. You decided to listen to motivational audios rather than mindless background noise. Whether you're in the gym, on the bus, just waking up, or lying on your bed, getting your thoughts together, you made the choice to pick something that would keep you in the fight. These are the receipts you need to remember because they will remind you of who you truly are, a champion.
The only way to live is know you're going to die. If you're afraid to die, you'll never be able to live.
The pain of discipline or the pain of regret. Go for the discipline because it weighs ounces. The regret weighs tons because it can accumulate.
Proud of how you've been showing up lately. There's a lot on your plate, no doubt. And it might feel like you're falling behind, but you're not. You're overcoming stressful situations. You're fighting for your mental health. You're doing your best. The only thing you're falling behind on is giving yourself the credit you deserve. Because at any given moment, you're doing way better than your inner critic would like to admit.
You have a plan and you have a process. When opposition, adversity, challenges, uncertainty pops up, the problem doesn't look as big. The adversity doesn't look as big. The challenges don't look as big when you got a plan and a process in place. Now, when you don't got a plan and a process in place, adversity and opposition shows up, uncertainty shows up, problems look real big. Yeah. Adversity looks real big. You forget about the sacrifice. You forget about the long hours. You forget about the vision. You forget about the mission because you don't have a plan or process. Right? The process makes you stick to whatever it is that you're doing.
How bad do you want it? We all know when we're relaxed exactly the person we want to become. The question is, do we believe we can become it? Without that belief, every journey will run into a debate. That debate is when pain starts to fill the body. You weigh the temporary pain versus a lifetime of pride.
Champions find a way to make it happen. No matter how long it takes, they find a way. Champions find a way to get through their nerves. So don't be ashamed to say you're nervous, but find a way to get over it.
Passion and the drive has to be followed by an action. That's the hardest part. People don't want to have that action. Dreams want to live just like everybody else. And if you don't bring them to life, somebody else will. And you're going to be sitting there back thinking, man, I could have, I should have, I would have. Well, you had your chance. You got to deliver. You got to have action. You got to deliver.
Ever tried? Ever failed? No matter. Try again. Fail again. Fail better. The world is yours.
You could either do the work today to become your highest version tomorrow, or tomorrow you can feel a lifelong of regret. That's a given. The people who know that they were meant for more and didn't go for more end up with a lifelong state of regret. And the reason for that is because they didn't want to hurt the people around them, didn't want to hurt family members, but instead they gave in to the life of average just so they can blend in and not stand out. And years later, they regret not doing the things that they could have done to become a winner.
We often don't realize we're in control. We're in control of our own lives, and we can make different choices. And if the things in our life are not bringing us joy and happiness, if our career that we've devoted all of our lives to isn't bringing us joy, we can change them. If we decide our relationship is not the right relationship, we don't have to suffer in that relationship.
Stay in your comfort zone. That's where you will fail.
To get something you never had, you have to do something you never did.
You will fail in your comfort zone. Success is not a comfortable procedure. It is a very uncomfortable thing to attempt. So you got to get comfortable being uncomfortable if you ever want to be successful.
Ask yourself, what do you really want? What do you really want? I mean, down inside, if you could have anything you want, what do you really want? Let your mind take off. You're a creative being. There's nothing on the planet that's like you.
Give me evidence that you're not qualified to go get that. Give me evidence that you're not qualified for a great life. You have none. You are ultra qualified. No one can tell us what we're capable of except us. And when we believe these truths, it's over. You're unkillable.